Captain Maya Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the UES Thunderstrike and watched the stars move past the massive windows. Her ship was the biggest thing humans had ever built for war. The metal giant stretched over 2 miles long and carried enough weapons to destroy entire fleets. Maya had been commanding this beast for 6 months now, and still felt amazed every time she looked at what her people could build. The bridge was quiet except for the soft hum of computers and the gentle beeping of sensors. Lieutenant Kate Morrison sat at her station checking weapon systems, while Commander Lisa Brooks monitored the engines from her post. The crew of 800 people worked in perfect order throughout the ship. Maya felt proud to lead them all. They were flying near the Andorian Nebula on a routine patrol when Kate suddenly looked up from her screens. Her face showed worry as she turned to Maya. The tactical officer had been with Maya for 3 years and never got excited without good reason. "Captain, we have a distress signal coming from Grid 74 Alpha," Kate said while her fingers danced over the controls. "It looks like someone is in serious trouble out there." Maya walked over to Kate's station and looked at the data flowing across multiple screens. The signal was weak, but clearly asking for help. What made it strange was that the signal used technology patterns they had never seen before. The computer could not identify what kind of ship was sending the message. "How far away are they?" Maya asked while studying the readings. "About 3 hours at current speed, Captain, but if we push the engines we could be there in 90 minutes, Lisa called out from her engineering station. Maya thought for a moment. Their patrol route did not include that area, but helping people. In danger was always the right thing to do. She had not become a captain to ignore those who needed help. "Set course for the distress signal and increase speed to maximum safe levels," Maya ordered. "Kate, I want all weapons ready, but keep them powered down until we know what we are dealing with." The Thunderstrike turned toward the signal, and its massive engines pushed the ship faster through space. Maya could feel the slight vibration as the ship picked up speed. The journey that should have taken 3 hours now would take just over an hour. As they got closer, Kate started picking up more signals. Her screens showed multiple ships in the area and energy readings that meant weapons were being fired. Someone was definitely fighting out there. "Captain, I am reading 6 ships total," Kate reported. "1 small vessel that matches our distress signal and 5 larger ships that are attacking it." Maya felt her jaw tighten. Pirates or raiders attacking innocent people made her angry. The Thunderstrike had been built to protect humans, but Maya believed in protecting anyone who needed help. "Can you identify the attacking ships?" Maya asked. Kate worked at her console for several minutes before shaking her head. "No, Captain, these are not in our database either. The attacking ships are much bigger than the one calling for help, though." When the Thunderstrike finally arrived at the battle, Maya saw something that amazed her. The ship being attacked was beautiful beyond anything humans had ever built. It looked like it was made from silver and crystal, with elegant curves that seemed to flow like water. The 5 ships attacking it were dark and angular, with sharp edges and spikes covering their hulls. "Captain, the small ship is badly damaged," Kate reported. "Their shields are failing and they have fires on multiple decks." Maya did not hesitate. "Open communications to all ships. Let them know we are here." The main screen flickered and showed the bridge of the beautiful ship. Maya gasped when she saw who was calling for help. The being standing before her looked almost human, but had pointed ears and eyes that seemed to glow with inner light. Her skin was pale and perfect, while her hair flowed like silver water. Maya realized she was looking at an elf, just like in the old stories from Earth. "This is Captain Lyrelay Moonwhisper of the research vessel Starwind," the elf said in perfect English, though her voice carried a musical quality. "We are under attack by Zephyrian raiders. Our shields are failing and we cannot escape." Before Maya could respond, one of the attacking ships opened communications. The screen showed a reptilian face with yellow eyes and sharp teeth. When it spoke, the voice sounded like gravel scraping on metal. "Human ship, you will leave this area immediately or face destruction. These elves are our prisoners by right of conquest." Maya felt her anger rise. She had spent her whole career protecting the innocent, and she was not about to stop now. The Thunderstrike had enough firepower to handle 5 ships, even if they were bigger. "This is Captain Maya Rodriguez of the UES Thunderstrike. Release the elf ship immediately and leave this area or face the consequences." The reptilian creature laughed, and the sound made Maya feel sick. Your ship is large, human, but you are only 1 against 5. Surrender now, and we might let you live as slaves." Maya looked at Kate, who was already bringing weapons online. Lisa was pushing the engines to full power and routing extra energy to shields and weapons. The crew of the Thunderstrike was ready for battle. "All ships, this is your final warning," Maya said coldly. "Leave now, or be destroyed." The 5 attacking ships turned toward the Thunderstrike, and Maya could see their weapons charging up. She had given them a chance for peace, but they had chosen war instead. Now they would learn why humans had become the most feared warriors in their part of space. "Kate, target their lead ship and fire when ready," Maya ordered. The Thunderstrike's main guns spoke with the voice of thunder. The battle lasted only 20 minutes, but Maya knew it would be remembered for years to come. The Thunderstrike's plasma cannons had torn through the Zephyrian ships like they were made of paper. The quantum torpedoes had turned 2 of the enemy vessels into clouds of glowing gas. The 3 surviving ships had fled into hyperspace after seeing their companions destroyed so easily. Captain Lyrale Moonwhisper had watched the entire fight from her damaged bridge with wonder in her glowing eyes. When the last Zephyrian ship disappeared, she contacted Maya again. "Captain Rodriguez, your ship fights like nothing we have ever seen before," Lyrale said with genuine amazement. "Those Zephyrian battlecruisers have conquered dozens of worlds, but you destroyed them like they were children's toys." Maya felt embarrassed by the praise, but tried to stay professional. "We were happy to help, Captain Moonwhisper. Do you need assistance with repairs or medical aid?" "Yes, please," Lyrale replied. "We have wounded crew members, and our main engines are badly damaged. May we come aboard your ship?" Maya looked at Kate and Lisa, who both nodded. Having real elves on board would be amazing for the crew to see. "Of course, Captain. We will prepare docking bay 2 for your ship." 3 hours later, Maya stood in the docking bay as the elf ship slowly moved inside. Up close, the vessel looked even more beautiful than before. The metal seemed to glow with soft light, while crystal panels showed swirling patterns of color. When the airlock opened, Maya got her first close look at real elves. Captain Lyrale walked out first, and Maya was struck by how graceful every movement seemed. Behind her came Navigator Sylviana Starweaver, whose silver hair was braided with small gems that sparkled in the light. Weapons specialist Alara Nightblade moved like a dancer, but Maya could see the warrior's strength in her eyes. "Welcome aboard the Thunderstrike," Maya said while extending her hand in the human greeting. "I am Captain Maya Rodriguez. Lyrale took her hand, and Maya felt surprised by how warm the elf's skin was. "Thank you for saving our lives, Captain Rodriguez. Without your intervention, we would all be dead or slaves by now." Maya led the elves to the main conference room where they could talk privately. Along the way, many crew members stopped their work to stare at their unusual guests. Maya could not blame them, since most humans thought elves were just stories. In the conference room, Maya offered her guests coffee, while Lisa checked on the elf ship's damage reports. Kate was already studying the Zephyrian ship data they had collected during the battle. "Tell me about these Zephyrians," Maya said as they sat around the large table. "Are they a major threat in this region?" Lyrale's face became serious as she answered. "The Zephyrian Empire has been expanding for 50 years, Captain. They conquer worlds and enslave the populations while stripping planets of all resources. Dozens of civilizations have fallen to their fleets." "How many ships do they have?" Kate asked, while looking up from her data pad. Sylviana spoke for the first time, and her voice was softer than Lyrale's, but still carried that musical quality. "Our intelligence suggests they have over 3,000 warships of various sizes. Most are smaller than what attacked us today, but they have some truly massive vessels." Maya felt her stomach tighten. 3,000 ships was more than the entire human space navy. Earth had only built 12 dreadnoughts like the Thunderstrike and maybe 200 smaller vessels. "What about other species?" Maya asked. "Do any of them fight back against the Zephyrians?" Alara answered this time, and her voice carried anger. "Some try, but most lack the technology or will to resist. The Zephyrians are very good at turning species against each other. They offer some groups rewards for helping them conquer others." Lisa looked up from her engineering reports. "Captain, the elf ship has some amazing technology. Their energy shields are at least 50% more efficient than ours, and their sensors can detect things we cannot even imagine." While your weapons and armor are far superior to anything we have seen, Lyreley added. Those plasma cannons cut through Zephyrian shields like they were not even there, and your ship's armor took direct hits without any damage at all. Maya began to see possibilities forming. What if we work together? She suggested. Your technology combined with our weapons might give us an advantage against the Zephyrians. Lyreley exchanged glances with her officers before nodding slowly. The Elven sovereignty has been looking for strong allies, Captain. Your people might be exactly what we need. 2 weeks later, Maya found herself in the Luna Naval Base conference room sitting across from Admiral Patricia Wells and Ambassador Helen Carter. The three women were reviewing reports from the first joint training exercises between human and elf ships. The results are remarkable, Admiral Wells said while studying the data. When human ships use elf shield technology, they become nearly indestructible. And when elf ships mount our weapons, they can destroy targets twice their size. Ambassador Carter leaned forward with interest. What about the political situation? Are the elves willing to form a real alliance? Maya thought about her conversations with Lyreley over the past 2 weeks. The elf captain had become not just an ally but a friend. They had shared stories about their home worlds and their dreams for the future. I believe they are, Ambassador, Maya replied. Captain Moonwhisper has been very open about her people's situation. The Zephyrians are planning a major offensive against elf colonies in the Outer Rim. They need our help to survive. Admiral Wells stood up and walked to the large window that showed Earth hanging in space. I have been getting reports from our deep space scouts. Zephyrian fleets are massing near the border regions. Intelligence suggests they are planning something big. How big? Ambassador Carter asked with worry in her voice. Maybe 500 ships or more, the Admiral answered. If they break through the Outer Rim defenses, there will be nothing to stop them from reaching Earth. Maya felt a chill run down her spine. Even with their superior technology, the humans could not fight that many ships alone. But with elf allies and combined technology, they might have a chance. Admiral, I request permission to take the Thunderstrike back to elf space, Maya said. If we are going to stop this threat, we need to start working together immediately. Admiral Wells turned from the window, and Maya could see determination in her eyes. Permission granted, Captain. Take Kate and Lisa with you and start planning. Joint operations with the elves. We are going to need every advantage we can get. As Maya prepared to leave Luna Base, she thought about the strange turn her life had taken. 3 weeks ago, she had been on routine patrol duty. Now she was helping to forge an alliance that might save both their species from destruction. The war was coming, whether they wanted it or not. Maya stood on the bridge of the Thunderstrike as 3 more human dreadnoughts dropped out of hyperspace around the elf home world of Ethermoor. The sight of 4 massive human warships in formation made her feel proud and worried at the same time. Captain Amy Foster commanded the UES Stormbreaker, while Captain Nicole Grant led the UES Ironclad. Captain Rebecca Stone brought up the rear in the UES Devastator. Together they formed humanity's first Dreadnought squadron. All ships report ready for operations, Kate announced from her tactical station. The past month had seen incredible changes as human and elf crews learned to work together. Now each human ship carried elf shield generators, while elf vessels mounted human plasma cannons. Admiral Aurelia Stormwind appeared on the main screen from her flagship. The elf commander looked older than Lyreley, with hair like spun gold and eyes that seemed to hold the wisdom of centuries. Her voice carried authority that came from years of fighting the Zephyrian threat. Welcome to Ethermoor, human friends, Admiral Stormwind said with a slight smile. Your arrival gives us hope that we might finally turn the tide against our enemies. Maya had grown to respect the elf admiral during their planning sessions. Unlike some military leaders, Admiral Stormwind listened to new ideas and adapted quickly to changing situations. She also understood that winning this war would require sacrifices from both species. We are honored to fight beside your people. Admiral, Maya replied. What is the current situation in the Kepler system? The main screen changed to show a tactical display of the contested star system. Red markers showed Zephyrian positions, while blue and green dots represented human and elf forces. The enemy had more ships, but they were spread across multiple locations. Our scouts report heavy Zephyrian activity around the 4th planet, Admiral Stormwind explained. Intelligence suggests they are using slave labor to build new warships in hidden facilities on the surface, Lisa looked up from her engineering station with anger in her eyes. Slave labor, Captain. We cannot let that continue. Maya felt the same. Anger, but she also understood the tactical situation. How many prisoners are we talking about, Admiral? At least 10,000 beings from 6 different species, the elf commander answered sadly, including some of our own people who were captured during recent raids. Captain Foster's voice came over the communication system from the Stormbreaker. Maya, we have to do something about those prisoners. We cannot just leave them there. I agree. Amy, but we need more information first, Maya replied. She had learned to balance compassion with military necessity during her years in command. Admiral, do we have detailed scans of the facilities? Admiral Stormwind nodded, and the display changed to show the planet's surface. Several large installations were visible along with what looked like construction yards and mining operations. The main prison complex is here, she said while pointing to a cluster of buildings. But the facilities are heavily defended with surface-to-space missiles and energy cannons. Captain Grant's voice joined the conversation from the ironclad. What about a combined operation? Human ships draw their attention, while elf vessels slip in to extract the prisoners. Before anyone could answer, an alarm started sounding on the Thunderstrike's bridge. Kate turned from her station with urgent news written across her face. Captain, we have an incoming ship on emergency approach. It is broadcasting human identification codes. Maya felt surprised, since no other human ships were supposed to be in this area. Put them on screen, Kate. The display showed a badly damaged human vessel that Maya recognized as a Deep Space Survey ship. The hull was scorched, and several sections looked like they had been blown open by weapons fire. When communications connected, Maya saw a familiar face. This is Captain Zara Ellis of the UES Explorer requesting immediate assistance, the woman on the screen said. Maya remembered Zara from the Naval Academy where they had been friends and rivals. Zara, what happened to your ship? Maya asked with concern. Maya, thank God it is you, Zara replied with relief obvious in her voice. We were captured by Zephyrians 3 months ago while conducting surveys near the rim. They held us in those slave facilities you are probably planning to attack. Admiral Stormwind leaned forward with interest. How did you escape, Captain Ellis? Some of the other prisoners created a distraction during a shift change, Zara explained. We managed to steal a guard ship and fought our way out, but barely made it to hyperspace before their reinforcements arrived. Maya realized that Zara could provide crucial intelligence about the enemy facilities. How many prisoners are still there, and what are the defenses like? Zara's expression became grim as she answered. At least 12,000 prisoners from what I could count. The Zephyrians are working them to death building new battleships. As for defenses, they have about 50 ships in orbit plus all the surface installations. Captain Stone's voice came over the communications. 50 ships plus surface defenses. That is a tough target even for us. There is something else, Zara continued. The Zephyrians are building something big in the main construction facility. I overheard guards talking about a superweapon that will let them destroy entire fleets at once. Maya felt ice form in her stomach. A superweapon in Zephyrian hands could end the war before it really started. Do you know any details about this weapon? Not much, but they seemed very excited about it, Zara replied. One guard said it would be ready in 2 weeks. Admiral Stormwind exchanged worried glances with Maya before speaking. Then we have no choice but to attack immediately. We cannot allow such a weapon to be completed. Agreed, Maya said, while her mind started working on attack plans. But we will need help from the Mystic to know what we are really facing. The Admiral nodded and turned to someone off-screen. Elysia, please join us on the bridge. A few minutes later, the most unusual elf Maya had ever seen walked onto Admiral Stormwind's bridge. Elysia Moonbeam looked young, but her eyes seemed ancient. Her silver hair was woven with small crystals that glowed softly in the light. When she spoke, her voice seemed to come from far away. I sense great darkness gathering around that world, Elysia said while closing her eyes in concentration. The weapon they build will bring death to millions if it is completed. But I also sense something else. What is it? Admiral Stormwind asked. Elysia opened her eyes and looked directly at Maya through the screen. The Zephyrians are massing their main battle fleet. Over 800 ships are moving toward this system. They plan to crush our alliance before we can become a real threat, Maya felt the weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders. Not only did they need to rescue the prisoners and destroy the superweapon, but they also had to prepare for the largest space battle in galactic history. "How long do we have?" she asked. 3 days at most," Alicia replied. "After that, the storm breaks and war comes to all our worlds." Maya looked around the bridge at her crew. Kate was already running calculations for the attack, while Lisa prepared engineering reports on ship readiness. They had trained for this moment, but nothing could really prepare them for what was coming. The next 3 days would determine the fate of both their species. The Nexus Prime system had become a graveyard of ships, floating in the eternal darkness of space. Maya stood on the bridge of the Thunderstrike, watching the tactical display that showed over 200 red dots surrounding their small fleet. Warlord Krax had brought almost his entire military force to crush the human-elf alliance before it could grow stronger. "Enemy fleet composition confirmed," Kate reported, while her fingers flew over the tactical controls. 180. Battle cruisers, 40 heavy destroyers, and 6 massive Dreadnought-class vessels. They outweigh us by more than 5 to 1. Maya looked at the pathetic size of their own force on the display. 37 ships total, including the 4 human dreadnoughts and 33 elf vessels of various sizes. Admiral Stormwind had managed to gather every combat-capable ship in the elf fleet, but it still looked hopeless against such overwhelming numbers. "Admiral Wells, what is the status of our secret weapon?" Maya asked over the secured communication channel. Admiral Patricia Wells appeared on a side screen from the command ship UES Victory, which had arrived just hours before the battle began. The older woman looked tired but determined as she answered. "The quantum drives are installed and tested on all 4 dreadnoughts, Captain. You can now make precision micro-jumps during combat, but be careful. The technology is still experimental." "Understood, Admiral," Maya replied. The quantum drives would let them appear anywhere in the battle zone within seconds, but using them too much might cause the systems to fail at the worst possible moment. Sylviana Starweaver had been assigned as liaison officer to the Thunderstrike, and now stood beside Kate at the tactical station. The elf navigator's enhanced senses could detect things that human equipment missed. Her face showed worry as she studied the enemy formations. "Captain, the Zephyrian fleet is moving into attack formation," Sylviana reported. "Their dreadnoughts are taking positions in the center while the smaller ships spread out to surround us." "Time to contact," Lisa called out from engineering. 14 minutes at current approach speed," Kate answered. Maya opened communications to all ships in the Alliance fleet. 36 other captains appeared on her screen, including Admiral Stormwind, Captain Lyrelay, and her 3 human squadron. "Commanders, this is the moment we have trained for," Maya began. "The enemy thinks they can crush us with numbers, but they do not understand what humans and elves can accomplish when we fight together. Today we show the galaxy that freedom is stronger than tyranny." Captain Foster nodded from the Stormbreaker. "The Zephyrians are about to learn why humans are the most feared warriors in space, and why elf shields combined with human weapons make us nearly indestructible," added Captain Grant from the Ironclad. Admiral Stormwind's image took center stage on the communication screen. "All ships remember the plan. Human dreadnoughts take point and draw their heavy fire, while elf squadrons use hit-and-run tactics on their flanks. We must break their formation before they can use their numbers against us." The massive Zephyrian fleet continued its advance, like a dark tide rolling across space. Their ships blocked out the stars as they moved into weapons range. Maya could see the 6 enemy dreadnoughts clearly now, and they were even larger than human ships. Each one bristled with enough weapons to destroy a city. "All human ships, this is Admiral Wells. You are authorized to begin combat operations. Show them the fury of Earth's children." Maya took a deep breath and looked around the bridge at her crew. Kate had her hands on the weapons controls, while Lisa monitored power systems. Sylviana watched the sensor displays with the intense focus of a hunting cat. These people had become her family over the past months. "Kate, target the lead Zephyrian dreadnought and prepare to fire full spread," Maya ordered. "Weapons charged and ready, Captain," Kate replied. "Lisa, give me everything the engines have. We are going in fast and hard." "Engines at 110%, Captain," Lisa announced. The 4 human dreadnoughts suddenly accelerated toward the enemy fleet at incredible speed. The Zephyrians had expected a defensive battle, but instead, The humans were charging straight into their formation like ancient cavalry. "Fire!" Maya commanded. The Thunderstrike's main guns spoke with voices of thunder as plasma bolts and quantum torpedoes crossed space at light speed. The lead Zephyrian Dreadnought shields flared bright blue as they tried to absorb the massive energy discharge. But human weapons had been designed to penetrate any defense, and the enemy shields failed after only 3 seconds. Brilliant explosions tore through the Zephyrian ship's hull as the other 3 human dreadnoughts added their fire. Captain Foster's Stormbreaker put a quantum torpedo directly into the enemy's engine room, while Captain Grant's Ironclad raked their weapons deck with plasma fire. Captain Stone's Devastator finished the job by punching through their command section. The massive enemy ship broke apart in a ball of fire that lit up half the battle zone. But the victory came at a cost as dozens of Zephyrian ships turned their weapons on the advancing human squadron. "Shields down to 60%. Kate reported as enemy fire hammered their defenses. "Hull damage on decks 7 and 12, micro. Jump to coordinates 47 Alpha, Maya ordered. The Thunderstrike vanished from its position and reappeared 3,000 kilometers away behind a group of Zephyrian battlecruisers. The enemy ships were so surprised they did not even turn around before human plasma cannons tore them apart. "This is Captain Brooks on the Stormbreaker," came Amy's voice over communications. "We just took out their command ship. The enemy fleet is breaking formation." Maya looked at the tactical display and saw that the Zephyrian ships were indeed spreading out as their coordinated attack plan fell apart. Admiral Stormwind was taking advantage of the confusion by sending her elf squadrons in fast attack runs that destroyed enemy ships before they could respond. Captain Grant's voice came over the communication system sounding strained. "This is the Ironclad requesting assistance. We have engine damage and are surrounded by 5 enemy cruisers." Maya did not hesitate. "Kate, plot a micro-jump to the Ironclad's position. Lisa, prepare ramming speed." "Captain, are you sure about this?" Lisa asked, with worry. "Trust me," Maya replied as she gripped her command chair. The Thunderstrike appeared directly in front of the damaged Ironclad just as the enemy ships were closing in for the kill. Instead of firing weapons, Maya ordered maximum speed straight into the Zephyrian formation. The massive human dreadnought smashed through the enemy battle line like a hammer through glass. 2 Zephyrian ships exploded on contact, while a third was thrown spinning away with its hull cracked open. The remaining enemy vessels fled in panic as they realized they were facing something beyond their understanding. "All enemy ships, this is Admiral Wells broadcasting on all frequencies," came the voice over the communication system. "Surrender, now, and your crews will be treated according to galactic law. Continue fighting and face total destruction." Maya watched the tactical display as red dots began changing to yellow, indicating ships that were powering down weapons and surrendering. The Zephyrian fleet that had seemed so powerful an hour ago was now scattered and broken. Warlord Krax's flagship tried to escape, but Captain Stone's Devastator was waiting. The human ship's quantum torpedoes found their target, and the Zephyrian command vessel joined the growing debris field that filled local space. When the battle finally ended, only 12 Zephyrian ships had managed to flee into hyperspace. The rest were either destroyed or surrendering. Maya looked around the bridge at her exhausted crew and felt pride swell in her chest. "Captain, we are receiving communication requests from 40 different species," Kate reported with amazement. "Word of our victory is already spreading across the galaxy." Maya smiled as she realized that everything had changed in the space of 2 hours. The galaxy now knew that humans and elves fighting together could defeat any enemy. 6 months after the great battle at Nexus Prime, Admiral Maya Rodriguez stood in the command center of Luna Naval Base, watching the construction of humanity's newest and largest warship. The UES Humanity's Pride stretched over 3 miles long and incorporated the best technology from both human and elf civilizations. Its hull gleamed with the same metal composites that made human ships nearly indestructible, while elf energy systems gave it power beyond anything previously imagined. The promotion ceremony had taken place 3 weeks earlier when Admiral Wells retired and passed command of the human defense fleet to Maya. At 34 years old, she was the youngest admiral in human history, but no one questioned her qualifications after what she had accomplished. The Battle of Nexus Prime had become legend throughout the galaxy. "Admiral, we have another request for protection services," Kate announced from her new position as Fleet Tactical Coordinator. This one comes from the Saurian Republic offering mining rights in exchange for defense agreements. Maya nodded while reviewing the data on her personal screen. Since word of their victory had spread across space, dozens of species had approached Earth requesting alliances or protection. The human fleet that had started with just 12 dreadnoughts now included over 200 ships of various classes. What about the Zephyrian situation? Maya asked, while turning to face the main tactical display. Commander Lisa Brooks looked up from her engineering reports with a satisfied expression. Lisa had been promoted after designing the improved quantum drive systems that now equipped every human warship. The former Zephyrian Empire has split into 14 separate governments, Admiral. Most of them are requesting membership in the new Galactic Protection Alliance. The collapse of Warlord Krax's empire had been faster than anyone expected. Once news of his defeat reached Zephyrian worlds, the subject species had risen up in rebellion while the military forces turned on each other. The galaxy-wide slave trade had ended almost overnight, as human and elf fleets liberated prison worlds throughout known space. Any word from Captain Moonwhisper? Maya asked. Sylviana looked up from her sensor station with a smile. The elf navigator had requested permanent assignment to the human fleet and now served as Maya's chief science officer. Lyrelai reports that the joint colonies in the Kepler system are ahead of construction schedules, Admiral. Human engineering combined with elf agricultural science is producing amazing results. Maya felt proud when she thought about how far both species had come in such a short time. The alliance that had started as military necessity had grown into something much deeper. Human and elf families were moving to shared worlds while their scientists worked together on projects that neither could have accomplished alone. The communication system activated, and Ambassador Helen Carter appeared on the main screen from the diplomatic station orbiting Earth. The ambassador looked tired but happy as she delivered her report. Admiral, I have news from the Galactic Council meeting on Centauri Prime, Carter began. The motion to establish Earth as the official peacekeeping authority for this sector passed by unanimous vote. Even the former Zephyrian delegates supported it. Maya was not surprised by the news, but it still felt good to hear official recognition of what everyone already knew. Human dreadnoughts had become the most feared and respected warships in the galaxy. Pirates fled at the first sign of human patrol ships, while aggressive governments thought twice before starting conflicts. What about the cultural exchange programs? Maya asked. Better than we hoped, Carter replied enthusiastically. Over 50 species have requested human military advisors, while hundreds of their students want to attend our academies. The University of Luna has a waiting list of 10,000 alien applicants. Admiral Aurelia Stormwind's image joined the communication from her flagship currently patrolling the outer colonies. The elf commander had aged visibly over the past months, but her eyes still held the fire of a warrior. She and Maya had become close friends as they worked together to build lasting peace. Maya, my dear friend, I have news that will interest you, Aurelia announced with obvious pleasure. The Hive Confederacy has requested mediation in their territorial dispute with the Crystal Singers. They specifically asked for you to lead the negotiations. Maya smiled at the thought of two insect species, trusting humans to solve their problems. Before the war, most aliens had never heard of Earth. Now, human mediators were resolving conflicts across 3 sectors of space. I will review their case files and prepare a response, Maya replied. How is the new officer exchange program working? Wonderfully, Aurelia answered. Young elf officers are learning human tactical doctrine while your people study our sensor and shield technologies. Some of my best students are humans now. The door to the command center opened, and Captain Zara Ellis walked in carrying a data pad full of survey reports. Zara had been promoted to head of deep space exploration after her experience in Zephyrian captivity. Her ships were now exploring regions of space that had been too dangerous to visit during the war. Admiral, we have discovered something amazing in the Andromeda sector, Zara announced with excitement. A species called the Harmony Singers who communicate through music and have technology that could revolutionize space travel. Peaceful contact. I hope, Maya asked. Completely peaceful, Zara confirmed. They are actually asking for human protection from some aggressive neighbors. Apparently our reputation has spread even to the far reaches of space. Maya walked to the large window that showed Earth hanging in space below them. The blue and white world looked exactly the same as when she had been a young officer, but everything else had changed. Humanity had gone from unknown newcomers to the galaxy's most respected military power in less than 2 years. Admiral incoming. Priority message from the UES Thunderstrike, Kate announced. Captain Amy Foster appeared on the communication screen from the bridge of Maya's old command. Amy had taken over the Thunderstrike when Maya was promoted and was now leading patrol operations in the border regions. Maya, we have a situation developing in the Omega sector, Amy reported. A species called the Void Hunters has been attacking trade routes and capturing ships. Local governments are requesting immediate assistance. Maya felt the familiar feeling of responsibility settle on her shoulders. Being the galaxy's peacekeepers meant they could never rest while others suffered. But she also felt pride knowing that humans and their allies had the power to help. Take the 3rd Squadron and investigate Amy, Maya ordered. Rules of engagement are standard. Try to negotiate first, but do not hesitate to use force if they threaten innocent lives. Understood, Admiral. Amy replied, before ending the communication. Maya turned back to face her staff, and saw the same determination in their eyes that had carried them through the war. Kate was already preparing tactical assessments, while Lisa worked on logistics reports. Sylviana studied sensor data from the threatened region with the intense focus that made elf officers so valuable. Admiral, the crew of Humanity's Pride is requesting permission to begin final systems testing, Lisa reported. Maya looked out the window at the massive ship one more time before nodding. Permission granted, Commander. It is time for our newest legend to join the fleet. As she watched the great ship power up its engines for the first time, Maya thought about how much had changed since that day when they first encountered Captain Lyrelai's damaged research vessel. What had started as a simple rescue mission had grown into something that reshaped the entire galaxy. The human dreadnoughts that once seemed impossibly powerful were now just part of a much larger story. Earth's children had found their place among the stars, not through conquest, but through protection. They had become the shield that defended the weak and the sword that struck down those who would do evil. Maya smiled as she realized that this was only the beginning of humanity's legend among the stars.